want to ask you, where are you at? It's good to know where you're at. Whether it's a really like a successful place or it's somewhere where you're still in between and the world seemingly stopped. Your career, your studies, whatever it is. What do you do? This video won't give you the what do you do. I want to end this video by just painting what the reality really is for you who's still stuck there, who's still trying to figure out what's happening with your life. Why were you not accepted to this particular job or this school, or why were you suddenly just misplaced among friends? All of these issues that make you feel like you're stuck, make you feel like where you're at is a really difficult place. So where are you at? So many times we equate life's progress based on how the world views success, how the world actually paints the picture of perfect or good. And it's so easy to just be pressured. There seems to be like an age, an ideal age where you already have to deal with these matters. Like you need to have this amount of savings when you're this age, or maybe that's not a standard people have set on you, but you keep hearing that among the people you've graduated with, they seem to have figured out their life already. Or maybe you're in school and you feel like everyone's ahead of you and you're still like falling behind. What do you do? Again, this video is not about what do you do. I'm just gonna paint the reality of where you're at right now. First, we need to face the reality that you do not need these standards for yourself right now. What you need is a good assessment of where you're at and be able to just ground yourself there and see what you need right there. Do you need help from people? Do you need to talk to people? Do you need at least a little push from friends? Do you need a good talk with your parents if you're if you're still a teenager? Do you need just a good cup of coffee with a friend while waiting for a job? Do you need just a short call from a good friend whom you can trust and be able to say, dude, I'm really not in good shape right now, waiting, frustrated, still not seeing any progress? And it's good to actually assess where you're at so that you know what you need, instead of hearing the voices from around you and even from within you trying to set those standards and the bars that you have to break through. And with all the self-improvement talks, also videos, etc., and even content that's coming out, it seems as if the whole point of life is progress, right? I'm reminded of Enoch in the Bible, where he didn't seem to achieve a lot. And the Bible actually says that God was pleased with him, and then there's no account of what happens next for his life. So it's actually a good study to do about his personal life. When I encountered his story, I realized it's not all about being able to do a lot of things for God. It was about doing the purpose of God for his life, and he was able to please God. And it's really about pleasing God and being able to experience his presence, because there is a mission that he has for us, and there's a purpose that he wants to fulfill in us. If we don't overflow in his presence, if we don't overflow in that love, it's gonna be hard to actually overflow to others as well. People might say that if I've actually like hidden already from the world because I work from home, and after having done like more than 14 years of meeting students and being able to help them in their journeys, especially their faith journeys, that I've decided to leave that part and just hide. No, I'm not hiding. I just don't post anymore. And this is not to say that people are bragging. It's up to them to decide for themselves. But if I had a good talk with that person, even if I didn't have a good talk and just was able to be present for that person, then it's all good. Lord, if you used me in that way, then use me in that way. A lot of the people I've been meeting recently, especially the young people back then and then are now in adulting phase, a lot of them just don't need some advices. I just need to be there. Uh, Speak when I need to. And most of the time I don't even give advices. It's most of the time I just need to be present. Um, a good cup of coffee and matcha most of the time because I've already drank cups of coffee at work here at home. And then by the time I finish work, I go out. And then by the time I meet them, I don't have enough space within me, my physical body, to consume another cup of coffee. So it's matcha for me. So is it about progress really? Or is it about being human and being able to go there and be human with other fellow humans? Being present when they need our presence. I think about that part of my life and I realize that if there's one thing I really appreciate about my relationship with God, it's not anymore the times where I was raising up my hands so high and felt like the presence of God. It's now in the mundane where I realize, Lord, in my troubled days, in the days where I really felt bad about where I was at, you were there and you were not about my progress. You were just about your presence right there where I was at. So my proposition in this video is as simple as, what if it's not all about progress? What if when you're feeling stuck in the moment, what if you're not seeing progress in your life and the whole point is not to see progress, but the whole point is to understand or perceive where you're at and recognize who is with you where you're at. Where are you at? Because where you are at is where God is. What God being present where I'm at means to me is it's not even about me anymore, but about Him. He stays. He's the God who stays. Of course, I celebrate you who's saying that you've figured yourself out, you've figured your life out. Good for you. Good job. But for you who has not, for you who's still in the process of doing so, for you who actually thought that you've figured life out already, but then encountered a bump and have faced the boulevard of frustrations, this is for you. Where you are at is where God is. When you understand the whole narrative of the Bible, you begin to realize that the reason why there's Christmas Day is so that Jesus can really be the presence of God, the Emmanuel, that He is with us, that God with us. You begin to see that it was His being present that was step one for my transformation, for your transformation, for people's transformation. So personally, I got tired of trying to figure things out. That's why this quote really got me. Your rest is not to be found in figuring your life out, but in trusting the one who has it all figured out for your good and His glory.